True indeed with you. Holy Circle Gaming. Thank you for rocking with your boy like always. Definitely a privilege and an honor to do as such. Y'all see what we getting into today. Some Gems of War gameplay again. Since the new update, of course, there's been a lot of changes jumping off. Been a lot of different styles of gameplay that you have to adapt and to adjust to. And it's been really competitive as of late, you know, believe it or not, playing this Gems of War. Since they did the new patch and the new changeover, it's been a lot of different gameplay. You see a lot of different card combinations that you wouldn't normally otherwise see, and it really causes you to really try to build your decks accordingly. And so what I've been doing kind of gradually is trying to really figure out what's going to be my method of attack when setting up my decks first and foremost, and what's going to be my method of attack when trying to build my cards and how I want to structure my cards, because I really don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of trait stones currently, and I don't have everything maxed out either. So part of the chase and part of the reason why I do need to kind of chess pull today is because I really need a bunch of trait stones to figure out how do I want to best attack, because I have a couple of decks that work, but I need the trait stones to kind of balance them out to make them become super competitive, because they're competitive now. And I'm gonna run a couple of decks just to give you an idea of how competitive these decks are, just so y'all could kind of see how everything's been playing out and how everything's been rolling so far. So they're good, they're just not at maximum capability. And for these decks to be at maximum capability, you really need the trait stones to kind of balance them out. And I know a lot of people just kind of like day one cracked open all their chests and all their keys and just went ham. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to strategically kind of, you know, crack my chest open as I go along, and then maybe hopefully get the pieces that I need gradually, because the way that it's been working for me is that, you know, I haven't been really getting the proper pulls that I would really like to. And if I really had the proper pulls that I was getting, then I think that I would be more apt to like crack chests. But I really haven't been really apt to crack a lot of chests, simply because the pulls have not been to my favor. It's been a lot of cards, not necessarily a lot of trait stones, and it just hasn't been working out to my favor. But in the meantime, you know, the decks that I've been kind of coming up with has been working pretty okay. I'm going to try this deck out. It's not the right deck to go against this particular one, but I'm going to try it out anyway. This is kind of my Goblin deck is what you're looking at here. And with the Goblin deck, you can see I have the Goblin King in the 1 spot. I have the Goblin Shaman in the 2, a Boar Rider in the 3, and the Goblin Rocket. So this is kind of a twist of the Goblin deck that a lot of people like to use. So this is just my variation of it. It's not fully complete. It's not fully 100% functional the way that I would like it to be, but it's definitely solid. It has been working out pretty well so far. It's just not a perfected piece, because it does need some pieces to kind of make this deck cook. And part of making this deck cook is actually getting the proper trait stones to make that happen. And that's kind of like part B of the equation, is getting the trait stones and actually balancing those out in order to make the deck kind of become fire the way that it should be. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually use the Rocket right here, which would give me a free play. That's the reason why I like this deck. I was seeing another person play a variation of this deck, and it kind of gave me an idea to maybe twist it up. He had 2 Boar Riders as opposed to the Goblin Rocket. I like the Goblin Rocket probably a little bit more. I mean, I know it's a little bit more random, but I kind of like the Goblin Rocket a little bit better. And it's been working out to my advantage, at least so far. I'm not going to say that it's a perfect piece per se, but it's actually been working out pretty good so far. So that's why I kind of been rolling with it, because it's been giving me extra plays. And it's been, and those extra plays has been helping me build, you know, decks pretty quickly. As you well see, like the free plays are kind of cycling very fast, and I actually like that an awful lot, believe it or not. I actually like the fact that it cycles pretty fluidly. The only thing I don't like about it is that the only thing I really don't like about the deck per se is that it doesn't build gems quick enough for my taste. If I could find a way to maybe build the gems maybe a slight bit quicker, I think I'll be a slight bit more happy with the deck. Outside of that, I think I'm perfectly fine with it so far. What can I do here? I could get 5 life and remove gems of a chosen color, which I might do that. And if I do, it will be the blues for sure. I just don't know if that's the right play. I think I'm gonna have to let him get a play off. I'm gonna let him get a play off for sure, and that's the only reason why I'm letting him get a play off right now, because I think I want to like build up the greens first, maybe change the way the board looks slightly, and that played out to my advantage there. I like the way that it kind of came together. I could remove the blues currently, but I'm not. I'm gonna actually play the blues, and I could do this. I think what I'm thinking here is, I'm thinking running a Boar Rider across his line here, or I could run it across the lines with the blue and maybe get a double connect on the blue. I think I'm gonna run it across the line of the blue.
Mana Surge.
Didn't work out exactly to my favor like I thought it would, but it actually played out pretty okay. So I'm gonna get the skull yellow combination. He'll get a play for it. Kind of what I didn't want to happen, because now his Boar Rider is in motion and is ready to rock. And because of that, now, oh, actually it's in position, so it's fine. I thought I was out of position at first, so that's actually good. It gets his Boar Rider out of the way. And now what I could do is maybe go ahead and I could probably go ahead and strip the greens on this particular instance. If I strip the greens away, I don't think it hurts me as bad. And it actually will help. Well, actually what I could do is this. I'll do this play first. That's the right play. The right play is to take the reds first. Because I was thinking if I take the greens away, I could actually have a fairly solid drop as far as like the colors falling into place. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually do the rocket. And with the rocket, how I'm going to play it, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it, if I play it to the side, yeah, I'm going to play it to the side right here. And watch how I'm going to play this. Play it to the side so the skulls can fall down in place. So, which plays pretty well, because it actually gives me a secondary play here, which actually was a very smart play, because sometimes using a rocket launcher, I always try to maximize how it blows up, but blowing up off the side in that instance worked out for me pretty well. And some people don't play the Goblin Rocket like that. I so happen to play it like that, and it actually worked out to my favor. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually use the rocket again, because I'm going to be able to take one of these guys out real fast. And I'm just going to pop it right in the middle. I don't really have a real problem, because it actually double hit him, so it worked out pretty well. So that's the Goblin deck there. That Goblin deck has been pretty official as of late. Nothing bad about that particular Goblin deck at all. Runs fast, generates colors really fast, a little bit random, but it's not horribly random. So I actually like the deck. That deck has been really good to me so far. I'm not saying that it's a perfect deck. It's just a very good deck. But it does need some work. And I think once you get all the combinations of that deck working and have everything maxed out, I think it will be a very powerful deck, because you could do a lot of different things with it. The only thing I'm maybe thinking is maybe subbing out the Goblin King for somebody else. But that's the only thing I'm maybe possibly thinking. Outside of that, I think it'll be a very good deck. Trying to think of maybe another card to put in this place to sub for it, but we'll see as we go along. Let me do this. Let me show you this deck. This deck is not as strong to me, but I'll show it to you anyway. Let me see if it'll work out. Skullblade, Siren, Druid, Traxxas. Yeah, I'll show you. I think it's in the 2 spot for me. Well, yeah, I'll show you this one. This is the Rockworm, Bone Dragon, Shegra deck with Withering Touch. So it has a lot of up and under action to it, meaning that you can attack doing true damage, or you can attack over the top. But that particular deck is basically based upon using the Bone Dragon and the Rockworm. The Rockworm to kind of build really fast, and the Bone Dragon to kind of take away the shields, because as you well see, the shields are fairly heavy on this particular deck. And so that's kind of the key to this particular deck to make it work. Now, it does need some work. That's the one thing about this deck that I really have to kind of focus on, is how do I make this deck work a little bit more fluidly. And currently it's not as fluid as I would like it to be, but I think I can make it better as I go along. And part of making this deck better would really consist of maybe just building the traits of them, and that's where the trait stones become extremely important. What I was maybe thinking about going for black, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep banging away Skullwise. Keep banging away Skullwise. I think that was the right play. I know he's gonna go red. I'm actually gonna go brown unless it kind of not prevent me to. I'm gonna go brown. I know they want me to go blue, but I'm gonna go brown in this instance. I want the browns to kind of accelerate really fast and maybe get a free hit on the bottom. Wow, that is very, very good on his behalf. I know the browns aren't going to fall into play, but what they'll do at the very least, I don't think he has a lot of things that could kind of really generate brown, and I really need some things that do. So I need to change the flow of it, and that actually worked out really well. Now what I could do here is twofold. I could either A, throw some more browns out there. I could B, drop shields and maybe throw some skulls out there, maybe absorb a hit or two, and then drop my Shegra behind it. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the Bone Dragon, go ahead and attack Traxxas and take his shields off first. Now, even though he's going to get a 5 hit and he'll get one more possibly, even though that's in play, that's not a horrible play. Not a horrible play. I wish it would have been a slight bit better, but it's not a horrible play to say the least. Because I could either A, re-up the Bone Dragon pretty fast, and I still have deck advantage just the same. I could B, maybe throw Shegra out there and see what happens. But throwing Shegra out there is pretty risky because I'm throwing it out there pretty blank. And if it doesn't show up in the right position, it could really pose a majorly problem because the Siren hits for 12, and that's a pretty difficult proposition right there. So I think when I'm thinking here, I think I'm gonna go this way. And then what I'm thinking is, maybe if I could get the shields off, it would be better because it would free up an attack or two. And I think that's the way I want to go in this instance. If I have to take a hit and I'll lose my character, that's fine. That's not a horrible play.
Mana Surge.
And I didn't get the help that I wanted out of that, but that's fine. That's basically what I anticipated happening in that instance, believe it or not. That was exactly what I kind of anticipated basically trading off. I didn't want to trade off, but I anticipated trading off. So right here is where I'm gonna actually kind of get the advantage right back, and this is where the deck kind of works to your advantage really well. Because once you get the deck flowing, it's very hard to not keep taking hit after hit after hit, especially when you can actually get the skulls rolling at a pretty fluid rate. And that's what was happening here. So I actually was able to take 2 characters out because of the one play, and then I could go ahead and Rockworm and actually get everything right back into motion again. Yeah, he'll get the hit here, which is not a big deal. Because what I could do in this particular instance is actually roll that right back into play again. Get some help. He'll take another hit on the skulls. Hits me for there. Not a problem. Use the whites to kind of get them, the yellows to get those out of play. Hopefully, if this works out right, it actually lands so I can get maybe another connection of browns. And it kind of did, kind of didn't. But it's not going to matter much, because what I'm going to do here is set this up. So hopefully the browns kind of fall into place here. And they do. So I can actually get the last play off. So it actually fell correctly into place. So that actually worked out really well. And that's my brown deck. Now, it's a little bit harder to work this deck because it does take a little bit of upkeep. Speedier decks would take this deck out. But once it starts to flow and you get the Bone Dragon and Shegra working in tandem, it's pretty hard to beat it. But it does take a little bit of pace and speed to make sure that that deck cooks and that deck happens. So it's definitely not horrible by any stretch. It just needs some work, and that's the reason why I do need to kind of pull, because those decks do need a little bit of work to make happen. Now, I think, where did I have that third deck? I think the third deck was right here. Now, this is a variation of the... Now, this deck will probably lose against this particular deck. I just want to show it real fast. Now, this is the red deck. Now, the red deck is kind of uniquely cool because if you could get everything working pretty quickly, it could actually do some serious damage if you actually get it working quickly. The problem is that the meta could mess this deck up pretty fast. Now, the meta's been fairly good to me so far, and I've been able to kind of magic link, and that helps because I did get some trait stone work on the Banshee. But it's not necessarily like fluid and flawless as of yet. Let me see what I could do here. Remove all blue gems to boost. Blue gems will drop. I don't know if that actually helps or hurts. Deal 7 damage and remove all blue gems. I think I'm going to have to do that, but I think I'm going to have to do it here. How much time is going to take that? I'm going to take the chance. Okay. That's not bad. That actually didn't play horribly by any stretch. Not perfectly, not horribly. I could possibly set up for Shegra. I could take a chance and maybe just go ham and maybe hit the top and hopefully not absorb, because he has drain an enemy's mana boosted by the damage. Yeah, what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to go draw here in this instance. Take the chance that I get another play at it, and I do. Fairly risky play. And when I say risky, that was like really, really risky right there. And I really shouldn't have done it because now I'm in a little bit of a position right now. Now I could throw my red in one of these positions and hope that the reds kind of fall into place, but it's kind of random. I could actually maybe take the hit and hope that a red doesn't fall into position. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And I'm going to play it like this because I'm kind of projecting that he's not going to play a red.
Mana surge.
And then what I could do is this. The risky play is to run Shegra. And the reason why that's risky is because I really need Shegra to kind of cook. And if Shegra doesn't cook for me, it's a problem. Or I could run Jarl and hopefully that helps and balance out the yellows and give me another free play out of it. Possible. The worst thing that could happen by me running Shegra in this particular instance is maybe running Shegra. Worst case scenario, he'll hit me for a skull and not use his ability. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the risk. Risk paid off. And the reason why that was a extremely risky play is because if I didn't line those up correctly, it really could have done some serious damage to me because he really could have popped me for some serious damage and it would have been a real problem. So, I know they want me to play it that way. And I am. I'm gonna play it the way they want me to. I'm gonna give up the other skulls on the other side, take the hit. Absorbing a hit wasn't a big deal for me because I was gonna absorb that hit one way or another. I don't have any yellows or reds. I do need to throw some reds out there. Let's do this. Let's run Jarl. And it was more so for the yellows to get out there, more so than the reds to get out there. But the reds coming into play doesn't hurt anything. It really doesn't, because I can actually run Jarl again if I need to. And convert blues to red to boost effect. Will blue to red help me in this instance? Probably not. Probably not in this particular instance. So I could go red here and maybe trying to create red. Or I'm going to go with Jarl. I'll go with Jarl in this instance. Yeah, I knew I was going to give up the yellows, but giving up the yellows is not a bad thing because he doesn't get any build because of the yellows. So that actually worked out to be pretty well. And now turning blues to reds could be more beneficial, maybe. Because taking away the blues, the reds, and maybe turning them into browns, he could absorb the hit there, which will hit for only 11. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go blue to brown. Let's go blue to red. Blue to red.
Mana surge.
Yeah, blue to red worked out really well. Blue to red worked out extremely well. Then what I could do just on GP, cast this, throw it right in the middle. Take care of the reds that were remaining there. And then, since he's on fire, 7 there, plus there, then I could just run Shegra here, and it will make up the difference, whatever else that was missing. And that worked out pretty well. And that's the red deck. That red deck works pretty well, too. The one thing that makes that deck work pretty efficiently is actually running the Banshee. Because the Banshee in that particular deck does 2 things. One, it gives me the 2 gem colors that I need to make the deck work. 2, it actually changes to red, so it actually could get Jarl or Shegra cooking pretty fast. So in both instances, that works out pretty well. So it's definitely not a bad look either way it goes. So definitely the proper balance as you go along. But it does need some boost up. So when you're looking at particular decks, so when I'm breaking down my decks currently, so like the deck, like the Boar Rider, I could upgrade it once. All allied beasts get one. The Boar Rider would be a good boost up, like off top. Another one that could get good boost up as well would be the Marauder Bond. That would be good because I think all Marauders, I think I have 2 that plays Marauders. 1, 2, that's a construct, that's Marauder. So actually getting this boosted up, getting this particular trait stone boosted up would help me. So 2 minor magic trait stones would actually help me immensely if I could pull a couple of those. Because having 2 life at the start would be great, and if I could actually read that up again and all enemies lose 2 random skill points, that would even be more cool, because 2 random skill points means that they could lose 2 magic, they could lose 2 shields, they could lose 2 of anything, which would actually be really good. So that combination is actually pretty good. If I was looking for trait stones in this particular instance, the earth trait stones, the runic trait stones, that'd be good. Immunity to poison always helps. If you could be immune to poison, that could really like get you out of trouble if you have a deck that's going against true damage. So that's one way that's one thing I'm looking into, boosting up the quick deck. Looking at the brown deck, the main thing about the brown deck would be being able to boost this up twice, give each brown ally 1 life, and then boosting it up a 3rd time, gain 1 magic for each brown ally. I think both, once that's maxed out for the Rockworm, I think that'll be really great. The other thing I'm thinking about maybe for this is that when it becomes legend, I think it'll be really good if it's a legendary card. So that's going to be good too. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to the pulls. So I got about 1100 there, 550 there, 127 there. So what we'll do here, we'll maybe systematically, I'll pull this one, get a nature trait stone. Like I said, everything's official when you're pulling chests. When you're using your keys and you're pulling chests, everything's official. Everything you could use. That's the beauty of the changeover. Ooh, I needed that runic water trait stone. They really are looking out for me today. Let me pull 2 of these here. Not bad. Wild Folk, not bad. I can actually use it. Give me a legend. Give me a legend. Give me a legend. Luther's not bad either. I can actually work with Luther too. Luther upgraded is actually a pretty good card. Gain 3 to all stats in first position. That's where that card becomes special, because when you have it on first position, and when it gets to the second spot where you could gain 1 attack when an enemy casts a spell, that's when that deck becomes really fire. Because when you start matching that up with some skulls, Luther could run Ruckshop. So it's definitely not a bad thing here. Let's do this. Let's crack open 10. Saber-Tooth Lion, that's not bad. Hippogriff. Need that major fire trait stone. Need that trait stone as well. Glade Warden don't really need. The minor earth trait stone is cool. I needed that. The Warhound don't need that. Don't need the Ogre. The Griffin Knight is actually not bad. The money you could always use. So that's definitely not a bad pull there. Let's switch over. Drop 10 over here. Miststalker, Valkyrie. The gems are help. Gems are actually good. They're important. I really need that runic trait stone. That's important to one of the cards I'm trying to build up right now. The steam turret I could use that. Come actually build a deck with some turret play. The Chimera is definitely a good look as well. I'm gonna use a deck with it. And I know some people have been working with the Valkyrie. And I know I haven't really figured out how I want to play the Valkyrie in a deck. So if y'all have some good ideas of how to utilize a Valkyrie in a deck, that'd be real cool. To get some soul build up. So that's one of those things that I was kind of kicking around, like different deck combinations to see how that would work out. Lamnia, Avena, Crimson Bat. Actually, you know what? That Crimson Bat is new to me. Have any of y'all actually used this card before? Is it any good? Because I don't think I actually have the Crimson Bat. And if I do, I know I haven't used it yet. So I don't know if that legend is actually any good or not. So if y'all been playing the game and if y'all think that card is a good card, definitely let me know. Blast Cannon definitely is a good card to use. Blade Dancer, of course. War Sphinx is good. Another Flame Cannon. Another Blast Cannon. Another War Sphinx. Y'all trying to... Another War Sphinx? 3 of them? Really? Wow. See that Crimson Bat? That's new to me. So I never had that card before. So I don't know if that legend is actually good or not. But I'm definitely willing to give it some run if it's actually worth it in deck combination. Y'all got to let me know how that works out. Let's crack open another 10 on this side. 10, a right, Alkalite. Dog, and you know what is crazy? I don't know if y'all been having this type of luck when pulling your decks. The problem with me pulling the decks right now is that I'm getting some of the trait stones that I need, but I haven't really been getting, you know, a lot of good trait stone pull. This is like the first real good trait stone pull I've gotten in a while. But I haven't really been getting a lot of good trait stone pulls, and I really need a lot of them to really work out my decks. And so what you've been seeing here is just a lot of like basic cards. But like I told y'all from jump, the basic cards are all official. The trait stones, you definitely need those trait stones. I think more so than anything else. The reason why getting the cards are important is because when, you know, like with these little minor cards that you're getting, the minor cards that you're picking up, when you actually combine them, sacrifice them to make them to legendary status, is when those cards have a lot more value. So that's, you know, that's why I said every single card works. It's just I really need trait stones. I think trait stones are more important to me. The Gloria worked though. Acolyte's cool. I've seen a lot of Acolytes in this particular pull. Trait Stone, I needed that. Frost Giant, of course. Ancient Horror. The Goblin Shaman, that's actually cool. I could actually sacrifice it. I'm using it right now. Spider Queen, I'm thinking about doing a deck with the Spider Queen as well. Griffin Knight, not too bad. Let's flip one over here. Give me another legend. Give me another Crimson Bat or something. Give me a new legend. Goblin Rocket, if y'all get a chance to see a little bit earlier today, I actually ran the deck with the Goblin Rocket, so I'm actually sacrificed it to use something special. Another Flame Cannon, jeez, another Goblin Rocket. Those are getting sacrificed. I'm gonna let you know right now. The Trait Stones is what I need. There's a lot of Blast Cannons that I just pulled, so y'all know those are getting sacrificed. A Tyree could actually work too. I could work that Tyree into the mix as well. Herdmaster, not bad. Blade Dancer, not bad. No Trait Stones, no Legends. Not too happy about that. Not too happy not getting a lot of Trait Stones out of my gem keys. And it was funny, y'all saw that Trent. I heard somebody was actually running a deck with the Trent and was actually really successful. I don't know if that's really like right or wrong. I haven't really used Trent in any type of gameplay whatsoever, but some people say that it's really official, but I haven't utilized it yet. Ooh, a Bombardier. And then Reverend, not bad, not bad. The decks are kind of flowing okay. They're not horrible. I just need some gems. I need a lot of these. I need a lot of these. Gems will work. Souls will work too. Goblin's gonna get thrown into a sacrifice. That's all these cards are getting sacrificed. The skeleton will work in my skull deck, so I'm gonna probably try to incorporate it at some point. It will get sacrificed in, so the more of those I get, the better. Let's pull some more. I need some major trade stones. Family, I need some major trade stones. Hey, salute to you, man. Salute to you. Nice to see you again. You see what I'm doing, man? I'm back in the mix trying to get some trade stones, man. Look, Yalika, I know you've been playing off and on. Tell me how it's been as far as like your pack pulls has been concerned. Have y'all been getting good pack pulls lately, and what's been your deck builds? Because my deck build hasn't been really anything special, and as y'all well see with this particular pull, it hasn't been like a really great deck pull. But how has it been for y'all? Has y'all been getting really good pulls? Have y'all been getting the right cards that y'all needed? Have y'all been getting like the right trait stones that you needed? And how do you like the changeover? Because you know what, the one thing I haven't asked the team is like, do y'all really like the new format that they went to? And I'm not gonna say it's new because this is the mobile format in which they're basing the game off of. But how do y'all like it? If y'all only played the console version of the game, how do you like the mobile or the new version of this game? Do y'all like it? Do y'all think it's a little bit more innovative now? I'm still kind of on the fence because I kind of like the original way because I thought it was a little bit easier for like new players to get into. But as I'm playing it now, playing some of the different combinations and builds, it actually gives for me a lot of, ways to be creative when it comes to this style of gameplay now. But how do y'all like the new changeover? I mean, it was a lot of things that they changed. It was a lot of things that they actually worked out to be really good. But I just don't know if everything is great. You know what I really would like 505 Studios to do? I would really like them to add more cards. Not just add the way that you could give the cards more balance. I really would want like 505 Studios to actually go into the paint and give us more legendaries, or I forgot the title that it is above legendaries now, but I would like for them to give us new variations of cards, maybe a new style of gameplay. And I know some of the things that they added, like, instead of being able to attack like true damage and just get poison, you could get fire, you could freeze now. So they added certain elements to the game, which I really like a lot. But I really wish that they would actually add more cards. Just literally just come out of the box, add more cards, add more like special skills with those newer cards, and balance the game out a little bit more, because the game is fairly balanced so far. It's not horribly balanced, but the one thing that I've noticed when playing the game, even with the newer changeover, is that even with the newer changeover, you still have a lot of people playing the same cards over and over again. And that's kind of my problem too, and I kind of fall into that mix, is that I'm playing the same similar decks, just a revisited variation of it. There's very few decks that I've tried out that's like completely off the wall different than what I would normally play. And I still think the legends are still the legends, and if you have enough legendary cards, and if you have the trait stones to build those legends, I think the legends are still going to hold true. But y'all tell me, how do y'all like the game? How do y'all like the new changeover? How do y'all like the way the game's being played? Do y'all think the new development in P versus P is actually stronger? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence as far as like, kind of on the fence as far as like the P versus P aspect. I like the chance to change up the difficulty. The one thing that I did like about what they did in this particular setup is changing the difficulty. That's very cool. But, because when you ramp up the difficulty, it really changes the way that you go about your gameplay. So you really have to think your way through, even with great cards, you have to really think your way through at the highest difficulty setting, which I think is like Warlords 3 or 4, whatever it may be. So we're good there. So I'm cool on the pack pools right now. Somebody kind of popped me around on the P versus P. And I'll really, and real quick, because I definitely got to sign off. I got to definitely take care of a few things around the house today, but I will be on stream tomorrow. I'm going to actually do some more P versus P gameplay. And I know tomorrow they're supposed to be upgrading the game, so we're going to get a new objectives for the week, of course. But I'll show you the deck that I'm working with right now. Here's one deck that I'm working with. The Withering Touch, Rockworm, Bone Dragon, and Shegra. That's one deck that I'm working with. And Yalika, you said it's not bad, but Rebalance is very strange, I think. You know what? Yalika, I agree with you. It is strange only because it's new, and I just don't, a lot of people haven't had a chance to really kind of tinker with it enough. And it's a lot to take in. Like when I was showing this deck, this is one of the decks that I'm working with right now. And, dealing with the rebalance of everything, not just being able to progress with the souls, it's also being able to ascend your cards to become like the Rockworm was just a basic card with very good ability. Now the Rockworm with Ascension could be a legendary or beyond with the same abilities but stronger, of course. And then you could add the additional traits to it. And I think that in itself makes the game strange, which I agree with you, Yalika, but it makes it fresh too. I just think what it would take for most people to do is really get used to the concept of it's just not that simple of a game anymore. It's really a lot more complicated as far as like really thinking of combinations, because the combinations aren't based upon just skills and colors. It's really based upon a lot of different things now. Like if you link up dragons together, you can actually get bonuses based upon the linking of dragons. You could get bonuses based upon the linking of colors. You could get bonus based upon the linking of the areas in which each card comes from. So I agree with you, Yalika. It is strange. I just don't know if it's great or horrible. And I think your assessment is right when you're saying that it's not bad. I think that's the assessment that I take too. I think I would say that it's not bad, but it's not great either. Only because there's so much to take in when you're playing it now. So for me, when I'm doing like, deck creations and playing through the P versus P and thinking of different combinations, I could still run. Like you see this deck right here. This is a Goblin King, Goblin Shaman, Boar Rider, Goblin Rocket. The reason why that deck is still kind of an old school style deck, but it's really plays really well now because a lot of the elements of that deck doesn't change. The Boar Rider, the Goblin Shaman still runs very well. It just takes on, it just takes on a lot more. There's this deck right here that you see, the Goblin King and my Goblin deck, as good and as fluid as this deck is, and people would say it's a strong, possibly an OP deck. What makes it crazy is that this deck could still get beat fairly easily, in most instances if you run it against different variations of the deck. But I agree with you, Yalika. You're right. It's the rebalance is a lot to take on because there's so many things that you have to think about. So what I will tell you, and for everybody that's on cam right now, I will tell you this. The way that I went about it as far as like starting to rethink my decks is twofold. A, what's going to be the quickest way to do the most damage and hold control? That was kind of the concept that I went with the Goblin deck. What you see with the Goblin deck, and if you notice, if you see the bonuses, use the Goblin banner that's connected to the Goblin deck, and you get additional bonuses that goes along with it. So you get the King of Goblins bonus, you get the Marauder Captain bonus. So there's bonuses even with that too. So you actually have to think about how fast the cards come out, how much control that you have. Still got to think about color balance, because just like I told you before when playing Gems of War, before the update, you know, having gem balance, being able to not have any plays wasted is key. But it's so hard to do that now because you got to make sure that you have the right cards to balance out each other. So the tricky thing about making these decks work now is it's hard to get everything balanced perfectly in symmetry like you were able to before. It's a lot to think about. But the way that I did it was, you know, how well does the cards connect to each other? That was the concept of this deck. You know, being able to generate, you know, I'm still generating green gems to kind of assist the Boar Rider and the Goblin King. You know, being able to explode a gem so I could kind of maximize, you know, gem control. But the one thing that you see with this particular deck, everything about this deck that you will see, the one thing that was consistent with this particular deck, which is what I will call a control deck, is every single time I run a special, I get an extra turn. And I think in that particular concept, if you're able to get more plays and be able to kind of recycle the plays over and over again, that will be a very good way to start from. So if you want to take that concept, for anybody on camera, if y'all want to take that particular concept and roll with it, y'all are definitely more than welcome to. And if y'all want to, if y'all see the deck exactly, that's the way that all the combinations work in sync. The only thing that's wrong with this particular deck is that you notice that it doesn't have any water that's associated with it. So I lose plays against the blue, but everything else, it works really in sync. This deck is probably the most in sync that I have with any of my decks so far. You know, having the close enough gem chemistry, you know, card balance, the speed in which the cards are able to generate specials. But the one thing that I didn't have is that the traits, I don't have the proper trait stone. Like right now, what I need is like another minor trait stone to make sure that I could get the first bond happening. So that Marauder bond would actually help that particular deck immensely. And that's what I was kind of chasing for, to see if I could get a minor magic trait stone. So I may pull a couple of more chests to see. But once that deck is flowing, that's a fairly easy deck. That will get you very good ranking really fast. The other thing that I would tell you that's very important, I'm going to go into the P versus P for a little bit, just so y'all can see really fast. I probably won't play it per se. Well, I might and I might not. We'll see. The other thing that's important here is the difficulty. You can adjust the difficulty as you see fit. Now, normal difficulty would just be like playing it old school, like normal, as you will see. But those bonuses that you get as you progress along is going to be really important too. The quicker your deck runs and the better that you can handle the stronger decks at higher difficulty, the more bonuses that you're going to need. Now, the reason why that's important down the line, I'm not going to say it's important right now, because a lot of people are sitting on a lot of chests and gems and stuff right now. It's going to be important down the line, because when you need to start to rebuild chests and rebuild keys and stuff, playing at a higher difficulty is going to be premium to accelerating your decks, to make sure that you're getting the maximum amount every single time. So that's going to be very important too. So the other thing that I would suggest is maybe ramping up the difficulty a little bit, but not too much where your deck is getting beat down until you get your decks running at a smooth rate. What I'm going to do real fast, I'm going to pull another 10, because I really want that minor magic trait stone. And I don't think I'm going to really get that minor magic trait stone. Oh, 1,200 keys? Yeah, you know what? I do have a lot of keys, because you know why I have a lot of keys, Yalika? The reason why I have a lot of keys is because maybe about a month before they were doing the changeover of keys. Yeah, that's great. If you have 1,700 keys, that's great. That's fantastic. You did what I did. I held on to a lot of keys early on, held on to a lot of the gems, and I just waited. You know, for a period of time, I was using them, but then I waited. That's what I was looking for. I needed that minor magic trait stone. That's exactly what I was looking for. See, I held on to a lot of keys, and then right now that the update happens, this is when I'm gonna start breaking the keys off. But the one thing I would tell you, Yalika, and I would tell the rest of the people watching on cam, and for the people watching on the YouTube page later, this is for you as well. What I'm gonna tell you is that don't go ham and just break apart, 500 keys at a time or 800 keys at a time, or break away all 1,700 keys just because they did the update. Systematically use your keys as you need them. So as you well see, this is the pack pull, the little chest pulls that I did today. This is the first real chest pull that I did, since the update happened. I may have pulled some chests, but this was the first major one that I've done. And the reason why that is because I want to use the keys more so on a as needed basis, because once you lose those keys, it's going to be so hard to really ramp up and get more, get more gems, get more keys, get more of everything. So it's going to take a long time and a lot to really make that happen. And I have a shadow dragon. You know what? I do. Hold on. I'll show you. Man, that shadow dragon is, the shadow dragon with, the shadow dragon. And then we go to, where's my shadow dragon? There it is. I have 3 of them now. But the shadow dragon, the way that it's set up, once you get the trait stones cooking on the shadow dragon, the gain purple mana and see the 2 right here, the gain purple mana from purple gems, and once you accelerate it to max, where you're getting attacked based upon purple combinations, the attack accelerates so fast that you could get your shadow dragon hitting anywhere between 9 to 17, 18 in a heartbeat, because of the way that particular card trait stone chemistry works. That card at max is probably pound per pound, probably the best card in the game, one of them. The other card I'm gonna tell you that's important right now, and believe it or not, the card that they gave out for free, or I ain't gonna say for free, the one that they gave out for glory, is this card right here. The Bone Dragon card is another super important card, because when you're playing against decks at higher difficulty, they give them a lot of armor. So being able to break apart armor and generate skulls based upon that. So basically what you're doing is taking away their armor and being able to clutter the board with skulls, get the attack, and then if you could couple that card with Shegra, that card is money in the bank. I think the Bone Dragon and the Shadow Dragon are probably the 2 most important cards in the game at this point in time, as far as the legends are concerned. I still think the Boar Rider is important. I still think the Rockworm is important. There's a lot of other cards that are definitely important too that goes on in the mix, but I think that the 2 most important cards at max would be the Bone Dragon and the Shadow Dragon. So having the Shadow Dragon is great. The one thing that if you want to pull is if you could get the Shadow Dragon and be able to, maybe sacrifice it, get 5 of those and sacrifice it so you can upgrade. I think it would be extremely special if you could do something like that. That would be really good to ascend that one. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, and maybe getting in a pool at some point in time, is a couple of more Shadow Dragons. And I'm so dumb that I really should have purchased used the glory and purchased 4 more Bone Dragons to match up. And I may do it just the same, because I still have about a half a day or so to really decide that. But I'm really thinking about putting the getting some more bone dragons to kind of balance out. That's one of the things I'm kind of kicking around, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't want to blow glory on those cards in particular. But with the legends, I might. But they're valued really high right now. I was just mad that I should have done it when it was like 120 glory. Now to do it, it's like 500 glory a pop, and it's really high because you don't want to just give up glory just cause. What I am going to do, I am going to use the traits. I'm gonna use these traits right here, and I'm going to ascend it and use the Marauder Bond. So with the Marauder Bond, what that allowed me to do now is, because this particular deck, yeah, go ahead, definitely send me a screenshot and let me know what you're working with. And if you need any help, Yulika, as far as like builds and like concepts of builds, definitely let me know. Send me a screenshot of it, and I'll definitely take a look to see what you're working with. And yeah, we can powwow. And that goes to everybody else watching on the stream as well. If y'all need help as far as like deck building, or if y'all see something in my deck that would definitely help, definitely feel free. Y'all can send it to my PSN. That's gonna be True Indeed on my PSN, or you could definitely send it to my Twitch page, True Indeed 1, or y'all can send it on my YouTube page or my Twitter. You know, Twitter, Nerdboy Fresh. Y'all see everything on the bottom. If y'all need to get to me, y'all know which way to get to me. Send it to me. I'll definitely be an honor to take a look at it. And I definitely want to see what you're working with, you know, because I'm always interested to see, you know, different styles of gameplay. So what I did with this particular deck, at the start of the battle, all my Marauders get +2 life, which is not hugely important, but it is important. As we go along, because what it does with the bonuses that I'm getting on top of that, so I'm getting 2 life, plus I'm getting +2 attack, plus I'm getting additional 4 life as well. So I'm getting basically 6 life plus 5 attack just for having this particular combination of cards working. So that deck is going to work pretty well. So what I'm going to do before I jump off, and I know I got to go, but before I do, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually test run that particular deck really quick to see if it works. Hopefully the meta is not too crazy for me. And I know y'all hear me use the term meta, and meta is important simply because it just kind of dictates the way that the gems are falling, the way that the cards are being played. That's the meta. My gamer tag is Love Life and Gems of War. Okay, cool. I will definitely do this. Send me a friend request. My guild is Viva La Russia. Okay, that's what's up. Like y'all squad. Y'all squad has been doing really, really well. Definitely like what y'all doing with your squad. No, don't worry about the translation. I'm definitely with you, Yalika. Definitely cool. Love Life Gems of War. Definitely send me a screenshot to my PSN. That'll be True Indeed, TRUNDEED. Send that to me. Send me a screenshot on the PS4. If not, send it to me on my Twitch page, and I'll definitely take a look at it there. Either way, I have no problem. I'll definitely take a look at it and go from there. But y'all squad, Viva La Russia, y'all pretty solid too. Don't get it fooled for a second. Y'all are a very good squad. I like what you're doing over there. Your team works really, really well. Y'all know my squad. I've been working with my team called La Roca, in which we've been kind of floating up and down on the ranks. So, and especially with the new changeover, it's been really, really tough trying to get everybody on board, because it's been a really difficult changeover as far as like everybody getting up to speed with deck builds and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. So I understand. So, but your team is really, really good. Really appreciate what y'all doing with Viva La Russia. I see y'all moving up the boards consistently. So definitely props to you and your team. Now, this particular deck, you know, you see the life that I have now because of all the combinations. So everybody's hitting at like 12 and 13 now. 25 as far as like the life is concerned. So it actually balances out to be a lot better. What am I going to do here? I know they're saying to take the Browns, but I'm gonna go with the gems in this particular instance. Go with the skulls in this instance. And I wish I had red. Actually, you know what? That's actually not a bad play. Oh, give me a free. Oh, they're gonna give me a free play. Now, see, the one thing about the difficulty level is that once you get past the basic difficulty, they will combination play pretty extensively. So you gotta be very aware of that. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm going to blow. I'm going to use the rocket right here. Which was a very solid play, mind you. That was a very, very solid play. What I really would want to do, and I know it's the wrong play because it messes up everything I want to do with the Boar Rider. It really does. But what I really want to do is use the Goblin King and take away the moons. I really want to, and I know I'm kind of tempted to do that, but I kind of shouldn't. I know I shouldn't, but I really just want to, just on GP. No, I'm not. I was thinking about it, but I'm not. I got cold feet on the idea. That's a good play. I should have used it. Wow, what a play. Now, see, the deck is a little bit in trouble now. A little bit.
Mana Surge.
It's not horribly in trouble, but it's a little bit in trouble only because I misplayed that play. What I could do here is, I think the Boar Rider would have to come into play there, maybe. Oh, I know what I do. I have an idea. I'm gonna use the rocket right here in the middle. But I don't have a way to connect and get 4. So, I think what I'm thinking here is if I run the Boar Riders like directly through the middle, I could get a free play there. If not, he doesn't get a real play behind me. So I'm gonna hold the Boar Rider just one play. Yeah, that was definitely the right move to make. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the Boar Rider here. I'm gonna get 4 on the moons there. And I almost wish I could drop these 2 down, but it's not gonna work out the way I want to. So we are going. I don't have nothing yellow. Yes, I am. I'm gonna go yellow. I'm gonna go with the Goblin Rocket just the same. So that's kind of the way I was least semi-crafting the play out. It didn't work out to my advantage the way that I wanted to, but I kind of crafted it out somewhat properly, not exactly. And I think what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go with the Goblin Rocket again. Pop it right in the middle, even though I'm not going to get the gems to balance out. But really what I was more so looking for is to make sure this connection kind of worked. And what I could do here, I could either Boar Rider through this line right here and set up the brown, or I could Boar Rider right here, get the purples back in motion. I think what I'm going to do is run that Boar Rider right through this row here. Then I could easily play the greens.
Mana Surge.
Perfectly, just like that. Boar Rider right through the middle. And it should cycle the greens right back into play. So you see how fast the deck is rolling? The deck is rolling pretty fast and pretty fluidly, and that's what's the most important thing about this deck, is that it actually maneuvers and runs pretty fluidly when it wants to. So what I'm gonna do here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and run. I'm gonna run Boar Rider again, right through the middle. Get Gorgoth out the way.
Surge. Mana surge.
Throw the greens out.
Mana surge.
I'll get another free play here with the greens, of course. So that's gonna work pretty well. And going to Goblin Rocket here. Nice little connect. I'm not going to take the purples just yet. I don't think that's the proper play. Actually, you know what? Nah. That's not the proper play. I think the proper play is this. Actually, you know what? I am going to do that. I am going to run that play right there, and I'm going to probably throw some more greens out there, but I would rather get the reds. So let's do this. Let's Boar Rider here. Play the reds. Then I could play the yellow. Play that, of course. Purple to get the Boar Rider action right back into play. And then we're going to Boar Rider right through the middle. And we'll get draw out of the way. And if y'all see how fluid this deck is flowing, that once I have control of the board, it is very hard to lose control of the board. You know, you can. I'm not saying that you can't lose control of the board. You definitely could lose control. But it's very hard to do as such if you're playing it the right way. So you really got to just kind of pay attention to what's going on with the board. And this deck runs fairly fluidly. And what I'm going to do here is... Oh, I can just take him out and that's good. So with having control of the board like that, that's what makes the Goblin deck very strong. And when it was strong before, because the Boar Riders were going so fast, it's stronger now because it's so fluid with all the connections that it has. So instead of your Boar Rider only hitting for 7 and only being able to do like 7 on his special, you could actually have the Boar Rider, you know, attacking skulls with 14, you know, on regular skull damage, and then you could have it still accelerating with the specials at a high clip as well. So it's definitely a good deck. I actually like that deck a lot. Appreciate that, Yalika. It's actually a very fluid deck. So that's really, really good as far as like deck control is concerned. And if y'all want to run with that deck, y'all are definitely more than welcome to. I actually like that deck a lot. So that's the reason why I personally show the decks. So y'all can actually, if y'all like the decks, y'all could, you know, definitely run with the deck. If y'all run different decks, I'm definitely looking to see what y'all work with. So that's cool. So let me do this. I'm going to actually sign off for today. I will actually be on tomorrow around the same time, probably. Actually, I take that back. I will be on tomorrow, but it'll be probably around like 12:30, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, because I do got to work early in the morning. If it changes, I will definitely let y'all know on the Twitch page, but I'll definitely be on the sticks tomorrow showing you some more gameplay, doing some more deck combinations and going from there. But I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with your boy Yalika. I will definitely take a look at your screenshots momentarily, and I will definitely touch bases with everybody soon. Until the next time, family, y'all know how we do. God above everything, and I will check my PSN. I definitely will. God above everything. Till the next time, y'all. Salute.